Welcome back to the Daily Front. I'm your host, Greg Aidala. Today's episode is very special. I grew up around music. I love rock music. And today I have the opportunity and the privilege to come into this gentleman's home today. Please welcome the drummer of the band, Moe, Vinnie Amico.
What's up?
How's it going, Vinnie? Nice to see you. Thank you very much for coming out.
Thanks for having me here. Thanks for coming.
I got you. Like that?
Yeah, thanks for coming here. I'm glad you guys can make it to my house, and I'm glad that we could do it here. I built this man cave, so now I gotta use it.
I got turned on to the band Moe in the 90s from my brother, Stephen, who was here earlier, and some of his close friends. And you're from the Capital District as well.
Yes, sir. I grew up, probably nobody knows this, whoever the Moe fans are that are in the area, but
a lot of them.
I grew up in Niskayuna, and now I live in Ballston Spa, and so I am a local boy, even though, like I said, a lot of people don't know that I am a local boy. And Moe, in the 94, 95-ish, their first move out of Buffalo in trying to make it big was to move to Albany because it was centrally located in New York, between New York City, Boston, back
Montreal.
Western New York, Buffalo, Toronto, all these places that they can get to within 3 or 4 hours. So that was kind of the thought process behind moving to Albany. Of course, I wasn't in the band then. I was trying to make my way through middle America bliss at that point, working a real job. And all that stuff.
What was that?
Eventually,
What was that?
I worked for Enterprise Rent-A-Car out of college for a while,
Nice.
and then from there I worked. Have you ever seen The Office?
Sure.
I worked for a paper company just like that. After a few years of Enterprise, I moved on to the Dunder Mifflin. It was a paper company, not Dunder Mifflin, but it was like that, and it wasn't too far off from what you see on the TV.
See, but the cool thing is that you never gave up your passion, and that passion. Now, speaking about that though, because you have now correct me if I'm wrong. I read in an interview, right, that if now Moe courted you and petitioned you to come out, and then you were filling in, and they were trying to find, and they could never find anyone that fit just like you. And is it true that your wife said, "Look, if you don't join Moe, then I'm leaving you"?
Sort
of.
Yes, sort of.
Okay.
Kinda. Well, here's the deal. I was good friends with their manager. They were going through a number of drummer changes in their early years. So every time they'd make a change, the manager, who I was roommates with in college, or post-college, right when we got done with, and he managed Moe. I got a job.
Okay.
So after Jim left, he calls me, "Hey, you want to join Moe?" And I was like, "How much?" I just had gotten married, so I was like, "How much?" $60 and peanut butter sandwiches. No, I can't do it. Bought a house a half year later. They made a drummer change. "Hey man, you want to join Moe?" "How much?" $60 and peanut butter sandwiches. Can't do it. Yeah. So then a couple years later, my wife and I, we got this house in the suburbs of Buffalo. We're on our way to that middle America bliss I was telling you about. So we start trying to get pregnant. He knew about it because I was talking to Moe's manager knew about it because I was telling him I was trying to get my wife pregnant. And he calls me one day, "Hey, is your wife pregnant?" I said, "I don't know. I'll find out Friday." Why? He's like, "Because Moe needs a drummer." And I'm like, "How much?" And he's like, "Well, it's whatever salary is plus health benefits," because we had signed a deal with Sony, and it was actually a legitimate offer and a real band. And I was like, geez. So that's the whole thing with my wife. And it was like, so we find out on that Friday that she is pregnant. And then she also says, so I was like, what do I do? I mean, I'm happy in my life. I could stay doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I was playing gigs all the time anyway. It wasn't like I wasn't playing. And she's like, "You'd be crazy not to do this.
Yeah.
You'd always have some regret in the back of your mind that you didn't go and try to, make it as a musician."
Absolutely, and Moe fans have to thank your wife.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely, they do. And, here we are like 15 years later or more.
Yeah.
It's been almost 16 years. So 15 and a half years, something like that, since that all went down. So
No, it's great. And you know what I dig about at you guys, and I've seen you over the years grow, and I think it's fantastic. I've been there when the last time you guys were at the Palace in Albany, New York. My brother and I, we went, some friends that you know as well. And boy, we sat there, listened, you guys really impressed me, and I think it's great. And I think that, what's cool is it Jim, that used to be a drummer, is he still a percussionist, right?
Yeah, he's a percussion player now, yeah. So he was the second drummer.
Yeah.
And then he left to join a band called Yoke, who's, they do show once in a great while, but they're not really around anymore. Great band, by the way. But so he left and joined Yoke, and then they went through a couple other drummers and got me. And then in 1999, we just wanted to expand the sound a little bit, and so we called Jim because we knew he could play percussion, could play bass, could play guitar, just could play a lot of stuff. So it was he could on this song do this or on that song do that, pretty much do what we wanted him to do as far as sounds. And he's taken that to a whole new level. We're a rock band, and when you hear a marimba solo in a rock band, it's kind of cool. It just is like, what the hell is that?
And that's the best part, because there's no experience like the whole live experience. Anyway, I mean, it's just you get out and see it. Well, what's cool about you guys as well is you guys all have side projects. I mean, and now Mo, it's Monkeys on Ecstasy?
Well, here's the deal with that.
So, did I upset you?
No, not at all. Not at all. But Mo doesn't come from Monkeys on Ecstasy, but we use that.
No, right.
What we say we had a day off in some town and we're bored. And we just want to jam, or if we want to put a couple $100, whatever. If there's a club that we used to play at or a little bar that holds 200 people, we might call the night before, hey, we got a day off of this town. If you don't have a gig, can we come in there and set up? You could put Monkeys on Ecstasy up on the board. And the insiders know who it is, and we could sell tickets that day, and it'd be a good crowd. And
that's what I do. Like, if I'm on the road, too, and there's a club, I'm like, just tell them Zach Galifianakis is going to show up. And they're like, what? All right, sweet.
Exactly.
And I show up, and they're like, I think Zach's not going to make it. I'm like, but
go buy a fake beer. And go,
I try to have fun and create and give back and do that. And I think what you guys have done, like moe.down, is you guys really, I think, put yourself out there and juxtapose you guys to the bigger festivals of awareness that has similar, like, in foundation, but it's just a different vibe, and it's all good and positive to what's going on with the music scene.
Absolutely. Well, first off, moe.down we brought to upstate New York because there isn't really any big festivals that go there.
Right.
We're all from there, so that's the first part of giving back to the community. We also, as much as it's still pretty decent sized rock fest and sort of a hippie jam fest, whatever, it's very kid oriented because we all of us in the band have children, or most of us with crew and everything. We have 7 or 8 of our band and crew that have at least 1 or 2 kids. So we need to make it family friendly for ourselves, so why not make it family friendly for everybody? So my wife runs the kids tent there, and
that's cool.
So it makes, and it's not a place where you drop off your kids for daycare so you go party all day. It's a place where you're interacting with your kids. The whole community is involved. We do a number of different charities for local community. Usually we have a golf tournament that we do Friday mornings. Kind of to kick off the whole thing, and we usually raise a bunch of money, in the thousands of dollars. We've done it for that. We've done it for local schools. We do a book drive for the local school districts every year. So all these families that bring their kids to the kids tent, all drop books off, and we have a big book drive. It's really cool. So
how many years have moe.down been going on?
This year will be our 13th this year, I think.
And is it good?
So that's 5.
It's 13. I love how you just look right at the
I got posters
here.
on my
awesome.
Gave me that. So wait, that's 5. Sorry, I'm out of the shop. 06 was 7.
So 06 was 7?
Now we're going 012. That 13. Yeah, we're
13.
Yep.
Nah, it's very cool.
Year. Sorry to get out of that shop for a second.
Hey, we'll be back after these messages.
Where'd you go?
I have to ask you this because, in regards to festivals, I've been to, honestly, just a handful because I just never have time to go and do them. But what I do dig, because some of my friends play it, is Bonnaroo. And you guys were there last, was it 09?
Yeah, we've done all but like 2. So I think we've done 6 of them. 5 or 6, whatever.
Tell me about that, because I'm intrigued by the whole Bonnaroo. The guys that set it up, I followed their history. There's a great article last year in Inc. magazine, by the way, and how they started with that investment of $10,000. I think it contributes $20 million to the community. That's amazing. And it was a solid. Yeah, I think they're just solid.
Well, it turns into being a bigger city than any of the cities around there, except for Nashville. So because 100,000 people go. Yeah. So you go to Manchester, Tennessee, which is what do they have? 5,000 people in the town, and so, I mean, I've been there a bunch of times. It's a farm town. There's nothing there. So, and they build a city of 100,000. crazy. It's a little. For me, I wouldn't necessarily. I mean, I'm not really a festival goer either.
Right. Yeah,
unless I'm playing. I go to more festivals than most people do.
Yeah.
But
you'd rather perform than just hang.
Yeah. We get perks that
sure.
fans don't get, like backstage and food
and bathrooms.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate like standing out at those events, like it rains or something. Like, oh.
I wouldn't necessarily go to a festival where there's 100,000 people and camp all weekend. That's just me, and I'm not saying you shouldn't, because I make my living that way. But no. It's pretty overwhelming. It's a big deal, and we've played everywhere from this one of the tent stages to the main stage twice. So I have pictures somewhere. I don't know if I have that. I used to. There's a picture from the stage of 60,000 people.
That's awesome.
It's freaking crazy.
Oh, it's got to be a great feeling. I mean, just the whole mix and what they bring together. I mean, what an eclectic lineup, too. Yeah. Holy, I was looking over their
well, they've been changing it over these last few years. It used to be pretty much the penultimate jam band festival.
Yeah.
And they've been changing that and making it more of a mainstream festival, trying to make it a little more like a Coachella or something like that. So you're seeing less and less of the jam bands as the main draw and more. Although Fish still headline, and but it's Fish, Radiohead, and
the Chili Peppers,
and
Ludacris.
Sure.
Yeah. So there's a dichotomy.
So it's been changing. It's been kind of going more to the mainstream, which I mean, jam bands sell tickets, but they don't sell to the mainstream. Right. So I could see why. I mean, for those guys to get the sponsorship that they need and all that stuff.
You guys have a little bit of time off. You'll be in Massachusetts. You've got Albany, New York coming up. You're in Toronto, right?
Toronto,
Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And what I think is cool, and then you guys are back in Europe, right?
Yeah, we go to Europe for 2 weeks, 3 days in Amsterdam, Jam in the Dam, 5 dates in Germany, all around Germany, Paris, London, and Milan, Italy. So we got a lot of dates. It's going to be great. And we've never done all Europe. I've played in Amsterdam. I've played in London, England, but I've never played anywhere else. So it's going to be amazing. I'm looking forward to it. Then my wife's going to fly over. We're going to spend an extra 5 or 6 days in Italy.
That's cute.
Being Italian and your pan over here.
What do you got there?
And being winos as we are. It'd be nice to spend 5 days in wine region of northern Italy.
I was in Rome and Florence. The wine was just, I've never been to Ireland, but people are like, because I'm a Guinness fan, and they said it's better over there. And the wine just tasted better from
Guinness?
Oh, no, thank you. Maybe after the show.
Hey, I do play in a rock band. I do have beer and wine and booze around.
No, it's totally cool. It's awesome. It's what it's all about.
No. Yeah, well, yeah.
Well, not all that, but I mean, no. I mean,
it's part of the job description. That's all.
It's awesome. But do you have a favorite city? I'm going to ask you 2 questions.
Okay.
I'm going to start across the pond.
Yep.
What's your favorite city thus far to play in Europe? Like people that are reactive, hip in the sense of what's going on globally within their community, good stuff, positive people. Hit me with a city.
I'd say London. I mean, I've only played a few, but London was amazing as far as them liking the music and being into it. I mean, we had 2 sold-out shows in London, one with Little Feat, which was also awesome because, they were a big influence on me. And it was just a cool city to be in, you know. So, and it's, I mean, if you think about the history of rock and roll and who's come out of London and the area, I mean, none of us would be doing anything in what we're doing now, music-wise, if it weren't for the Beatles or the Who or
Beatles I was amazed. I was just reading how they have their 7-year start really in Germany. And then
Led Zeppelin. Sorry, I should mention them first. But
that's anyway. Okay. No, sorry. Man,
they're my favorite.
That's it. Get out. We're done. Just cut this. No, that's all right. So that being said, all right. So London hit cool. Now, other than Albany, New York, what's your favorite city in the States to play?
I was just gonna tell you. I was gonna broaden it to the best cities in the world. New York City is the #1 city in the world. It's not just because I live near it or whatever. In traveling all over the place, I mean, there's just no place like New York City. Tokyo, Japan, #2 city that I've been in. I mean, I've been to some of the South American cities or Seoul or Thailand, but I mean, Tokyo is just freaking amazing.
Yeah, I've heard that.
I mean, it's like being on another planet. and London. Those are my 3 favorite cities in the world. We'll see if, after being in Paris and some of these other cities in London or over in Europe to see. I might end up liking somewhere else better, but so far those are the best places I've been.
I just want to thank Vinnie Amico. Thank you so much for inviting us into your home and sitting down with us and really making this a fun time for me, the crew, and for the viewers out there. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you.
So again, for the Daily Front, I am your host, Greg Aidala. We'll see you next time, everybody.